All right. Hey, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to the ATYL live stream on a Thursday night. Happy off season. We're all dressed fancy tonight for our awards banquet. So we'll to go into that later in the show. But good to see you all in the chat. A lot of y'all showed up early, so thanks for showing up. All Sports Pass podcast. Adam, Ryan, thanks for joining. We'd love to hear your awards picks later in the show when we go through those. But we should probably start off by introducing kind of our panel here tonight. You all know Ben, Dom, and Adam. Welcome all of you to the show.
Hello.
Just hello.
Appreciate you having me on as always. Really appreciate the time to speak about racing with you.
You sound like half my coworkers.
I was gonna say. It gave me Owen Wilson vibes. I don't know why. It really did.
Had to go politician now that I'm dressed up.
Love that. I know. We're not used to being, I think, fancy dressed up. So I don't know. This is a special occasion. So yeah. Cool. Well, I feel to start the show, kind of on a serious note, not kind of, but on a serious note, legendary broadcaster Ken Squier sadly passed away last night at 88 years old. Hall of Famer, co-founder of MRN. He really shaped the sport in terms of broadcasting and even just in general into what it is today, inspired a whole generation of broadcasters, journalists, etc. So I figured it would be appropriate to maybe start off by maybe sharing maybe some of our favorite calls that Ken had, or even too, if we all had some words to say about him. But just really sad news, definitely going to be missed in the sport, made a lasting impact.
Yeah, I mean, he's arguably part of the reason why NASCAR TV is what it is today, because he went to CBS Sports and said, hey, we should do this live in 79. And then obviously we all know how history played out, but definitely a hard loss for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, what I love most about Squier is the fact that he emphasized, even just for a standard race, whether even if it wasn't Daytona, like, this is a big deal what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
And with the way it was back then, like, everything we do today matters down the line towards the championship. So this is really important. Yeah, this isn't the last race of the year. Yeah, this isn't the Daytona 500, but it still matters towards the end result of this season. And he made sure you could relate to every driver and turn them into superheroes. Just watching from 1999 when Terry Labonte won at Texas Motor Speedway and talking about how big a deal that was for the home state hero, Texas Terry Labonte dominates his own track. It's like that was such a big deal. And then just the way he could tell stories, it's just that's what separated him from the rest, and that's why he is and always will be a NASCAR legend for the broadcast booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Ken, I remember as a kid at Charlotte Motor Speedway, he was one of the announcers for the at-track activities, and he could literally tell a story about an oil rag in pit lane and make it sound like Shakespeare. It was just so poetic and just very, very moving. But he definitely had that uniqueness that NASCAR needed just to tell and forward the story even more. And I really think someone that tried to carry that on is Alan Bestwick. So whenever I hear Alan Bestwick, I think, that's Ken Squier. That's just our generation of Ken Squier. So Ken will live on forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Without question.
For me, it's just how he was able to word things. Like, just his vocabulary was incredible. Like, now I feel like broadcasting, it's not as creative, I think, as it used to be. And he was able to paint a picture with his words that I don't think anyone can really do anymore, or can do as well as Ken. So I'll definitely appreciate that about him, but absolutely will be missed for sure. Thanks everyone for putting your comments or your thoughts and your memories in the comments. We appreciate that. So again, Ken will be missed for sure. And our thoughts, of course, are with his family and his friends at this time.
I will, to end this conversation on Ken, my favorite call, and from what research I found, he said it in 1974, the grandma put your teeth in your pocketbook. This is going to be a wild ride. Yeah. That was the first thought I had when I heard it. I thought about that and I was like, that's Ken Squier to the T. So
yeah,
I love it. Yeah, this makes me want to go back and watch some more races that he called for sure. Just to appreciate it more. But Murph said, Ken truly brought something special. Love the way you described how he makes each driver feel like a superhero. Yeah, Dom, you hit it right on the head for sure. All right. We will move on to some NASCAR news right now. A lot of what happened is just silly season related. So a lot of kind of dominoes falling, a lot of drivers saying, I'm not returning to this team. A lot of drivers saying, hey, I'm at this team. I think we'll start with, I don't want to say something pretty basic, but just more information about Zane Smith and his ride next year. He'll be in the number 71. That's his number for next season. I mean, sticking Spire, the sevens, it makes sense, you know. So no crew chief for Zane Smith right now. And speaking of Spire, also KBM is kind of no more. They're overturning it right now. Yeah, so it's a little sad, but I don't know.
One out for the fallen.
Yeah, for real, for real. So
I was actually pretty shocked that they posted the video of them tearing down Kyle's stuff.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they ain't holding back on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's different between like a college dorm room or a house you bought situation, but like, dang, that was rough.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, it feels wrong tearing all of this down. Like I was watching the video and I was like, don't do it. But you know,
it feels really surreal. Like it's something I didn't really fathom happening. Like now, it's almost like we're erasing the history that was Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that place pretty much turned into like a Kyle Busch museum.
Really?
That featured a race shop.
Yeah. Just happened to be a race shop. Yep.
So I feel like that's the main reason why it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe all that's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm assuming they gave that back to Kyle as well.
I would
didn't throw it out, but
Did
I
you
don't
get to
know.
keep the trophies?
Yeah, like, the wall art's really cool. Like,
do I get to keep the rock?
Put it up in his garage.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of it.
Supposedly, I think did I not hear or read correctly that he still wants to try to run 5 truck races next year?
Yes,
I did hear that.
Okay, just to be clear.
Yes. So we'll see end of an era for sure.
Yeah.
With that. So
I do think it would be really cool. Like, I don't see this happening, but I think it'd be really cool if he shows up for truck races if they let him run the 51. I think that would
that'd
be
be
have
nice.
to let him have
That'd
it.
be
I know it Spires the sevens, but like that's one of those they have to let him have it.
Yeah.
just my 2 cents.
No. I feel like that should happen. It's important. Some of y'all hinted towards this already, so we'll start off with this. I was going to leave this towards the end, but I think big news, big exciting news for me. Josh Williams, signed to Colleague, the Xfinity Series program, racing in the number 11. Like, can we just Ben excitement level? Where are you at?
So, I am super excited, but the first thing I thought about after this announcement was, dear God, please don't end up like Landon Castle and get the car for a year.
Oh,
and then,
God.
Because Colleague's not great right now. We've established this. But I'm so happy for Josh. He's a guy that deserves this. It's funny. I think I either liked it or I reshared it on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call that garbage site now. There's a guy I raced with in a couple iRacing leagues, and he was like, he took a photo of Josh Williams' one of his ARCA cars, because he has an ARCA small ARCA program, and talked about how he watched Josh Williams drive the car in New Jersey somewhere. And Brad Perez retweeted that and said, "This was the car I ran at Watkins Glen like a year ago." Like it's like a Gen 4 chassis. So Josh Williams deserves this because he's helped so many people throughout his career, and he does so much for the sport. And to see him, and not to say DGM is a bad team, but they're not going to win races weekly. You maybe get a super speedway win or a road course win if you're Alex LeBay in the car. But seeing him finally get a cool opportunity like this is incredible. And he's just a wholesome guy. So it's genuine dub all the way around. So
yeah,
that's all I have on that. I love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
Is Adam going to participate? I was waiting on him.
Yeah, I was thinking Adam wants to say something.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was having some issues with my camera. Yeah, I think this is a really big opportunity for Josh. Obviously, moving to a established Xfinity program. The only thing is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on the show with our award segment. It's with a team that not striking on all cylinders. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to allude to something we'll talk about maybe later on.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
I think for Josh, this is amazing for him because I'm a fan of a guy who's been in the Xfinity series full time for several years, getting a chance in a top car rather than waiting for a kid straight out of a super late model to come take a chance in this car and not have to see what it's like to not be in the best stuff and then get to the best stuff. So this is a really cool change of pace. But with that being said, pressure is going to be on him to perform now that he's got the good stuff, even if it
Right.
not the best stuff right now. But the best part is getting the chance. So hopefully he can go out there and execute.
Yeah. And he's not in the 10 car, which is like the cursed car for them.
Right. That was my first thought, was like, oh my God.
I think
the 11.
I want to say the only, like, I know Jeb Burton's won in the 10, and I guess Larson has probably won it when it's been an all-star
And
car.
AJ.
All
And
the
AJ.
neighbors won it.
But like everyone else has been cursed. Landon Castle, Ross Chastain, who else? But like he's not in that car, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy for him.
Yes, I'm excited to see how he'll do. I mean, I think he really became like a household name in the NASCAR community after what happened at Atlanta early this year. Really likable guy. He does great work, like with charitable events. I mean, he's great with his fans. I mean, all around awesome dude. Great opportunity for him. So we're excited to see what he can do. We'll go trophy hunting for Colleague next year. So pretty exciting. Wanted to make sure I said hi to all y'all in the comments. Alex, what's going on? We got
Hello.
Ashton in the comments. What's good? And then Murph Turn 2 said they found the channel the other day. The predictions video. If you haven't watched that, make sure to watch it. But we appreciate you tuning in and for following the show.
Hello, Murph.
So thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome to the ATYL.
One of us.
Essentially. All right. Other NASCAR news, we'll kind of glide through this and then we can break it down piece by piece if we want to, or just talk about things that really stand out to us. But Jay Garcia will move to Thor Sport in 2024. We also have Anthony Alfredo announced that he will not be returning to BJ McLeod Motorsports. Chris Wright will race full-time at ARCA next season with Venturini. Kyle Weatherman joins DGM for the full-time season next year. Brennan Poole will pilot the number 44 for Alpha Prime full-time next season. And that's kind of all of it in a nutshell. Is there anything we want to break down? Because there's a lot there.
I like Brennan Poole to Alpha Prime.
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of cruel what ended up happening to him at Ganassi with the whole sponsorship fiasco, and then just got sent all the way to the bottom of the totem pole. So it's a step up. Alpha Prime isn't the best team by any means, but they're a better team. I think this will be good for him to go chase top 15s, top 10s. And the best part is being able to do an unveil with a sponsor in your race car. So huge kudos to him. That's mega. So I'm very happy for him. Deserving kid. So I think that's great for him.
Oh yeah, he's one of those guys that genuinely has worked his way back up from nothing. He talked about it. I know Toby did an interview with him, and he talked about like going back and running the On Point 30 truck back when they were a startup team, just trying to make ends meet on a weekly basis, and just doing that, and then doing the Premium 15 and hustling that car. So it's awesome to see. And Brendan's a guy that you can count on him. He's going to get in the car, and barring any external circumstances, he's going to bring it home in one piece with a solid run or the best run that he can during that day's time. He's done it year in and year out for different owners, different rides, different circumstances. So super excited. Another genuine good guy that's getting at least a better opportunity.
I feel like this is like a W for the good guys this past like week and a half, like with silly season news. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's good.
I'm interested to see.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm interested to see how Garcia does with Thor Sport.
That's my curiosity.
That team was kind of, I mean, if we're going to be honest, they were off last year and they won the championship. So thanks, Bull System.
We'll get into that.
No, I think it'll be cool to see what he does in that kind of truck. I mean, we saw with Eckes, just a change of atmosphere can turn you into a star in the series. So which is interesting because they were teammates last year. But I think that'll be a cool change of pace for him because I mean Thor Sport is no slouch of a team, so he'll be getting good stuff, probably the best Ford equipment. So looking forward to seeing what he can do with that team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else was there?
That's all.
The BJ McLeod Motorsports and that stuff kind of makes me sad because I think BJ's a good guy overall. Anthony obviously can go where he wants, but it sounds like that program, if you count Live Fast and BJ McLeod Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, it sounds like they're not doing too hot and are probably a couple steps away from closing up shop because I know they also said Matt Tift has left Live Fast and now it's Joe Falk and BJ. So that's a bit sad in some ways because again BJ is one of the good guys in the series, so hopefully they can figure something out to at least keep the Xfinity program going because that's in some ways revitalized a lot of young guys' careers so far and saved a lot of people.
We also have I think this is Dewey, right? Is this Dewey?
Yeah, Dewey.
What's going on, Dewey? Weatherman getting a full deal finally is real cool too. He said been a long time coming. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's hustled he's hustled a lot of S boxes around the track as well to get to this point. And it's the same thing of it's a step up to a better ride. But not excited for him and his opportunity. He's genuinely one of those good dudes that means well in the sport too and is cool in the garage. So
I guess the real question is, will he still be able to go to Applebee's with old Herminator?
Never forget,
man. Let's see. Our other questions here. This was news that was announced a while ago, but we can talk about it here because I don't know if we really went in depth on it at the time. But Jesse loved RCR. I guess we did go in depth on this, but I mean, we can talk about it a little bit more. Another silly season news that Dom shaking his head. No, I would agree. I'm a little shocked by it. It's a big loss for Toyota. Do you want to share, or are you just gonna sit?
The floor is yours.
I shared my opinions on this when the news came out, but yeah, it's a massive loss for TRD.
Yeah,
I mean, it's easy to be really good in ARCA and just be class of the field every week just because of the equipment, but my man destroyed the competition this year. And they just let him walk. I don't know. It's just forgive me. I'm emotional right now. No, it's
okay.
What I really want for him to do is to dominate next year and to prove that Toyota messed up. So that's what I want for him. I want him to dominate.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he'll be playing second fiddle though to Hill, if Hill really has the favoritism at RCR.
I think that's
the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how
is he content with just kind of being, I'm going to be your wingman this year until you eventually move up and then I'll get an opportunity. But by then I'm going to be a little older. There's going to be new kids behind me. Am I going to get left out in the dust? So I think he's going to have to get in there and he's going to have to start cranking it out, cranking those dubs and top fives and top tens and just be beating the 21 every week if he really wants to have a shot.
Yeah, this is the first time Love is not the main car. He was the main car. McAnally in the West. He was basically the main guy after Corey Heim left from Venturini. So this will be an interesting season for him.
And I think for his sake, it'll be good to be behind Austin at the super speedways.
Yes,
he's clearly got the vision on those racetracks. Austin Hill does, but to Adam's point, he's got to be miles faster than Hill on the regular tracks for him to get the advantage of we got to run with this kid here.
Yeah.
If Austin's holding him up, we got to let him by. So.
Yeah, I mean, and then speaking to Jesse Love and Venturini Equipment and moving on too with Chris Wright running full time in Venturini. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like a rebuild for him in a way. I mean, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that move, but I mean, he's going to get good equipment that hopefully he can put results in. I mean, we know what the equipment can do, so
it's a good move. It's a good move for him to try and rebuild himself because he struggled in trucks and some Xfinity stuff in the past few years. So it's a good move for him strategically. It definitely shakes up kind of the ARCA field because we've been trying, I specifically have been trying to place seats with butts and faces. And so far it's been really tricky to kind of figure out who's going to go where, what's going to happen. So, but I think good move for him personally. We'll see how he fares out. He's going full-time for the driver's title, which tracks with the rumors that I've heard that they want 4 full-time cars and at least 2 guys going full-time for the title. Could be more. We don't know, but good move for him personally. So.
And then another piece of news I forgot to mention too, real quick. Taylor and Tanner Gray are also returning to Tricon,
Yes.
so that's
Not
another
surprising.
piece. Adam, would you have something to add?
Doors open.
Yeah.
Move on.
We're not going to talk about the most important piece of news, though. Kevin Harvick bought Ricky Bobby's house.
Thank you. Yes,
that's the most important thing that's happened all week. Everyone at work is texting me like, "Yo," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I know, man." Like that's what we're talking about this week.
I saw it and I thought it was like fake, like not like I don't want to say fake news for a second, but I thought it was like some like odd news account that it's like, hey, look at that. And then I'm like, oh, that's funny, but it's legit. Like, that's cool.
I'd like to dream that all the proceeds from the 29 merch went to buying that house.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to manifest and think that way.
Well, I was just like, I was talking about it with a buddy and we were both confused because I feel like he sent the download because he was on the download like this week or last week. Yeah, he's like, I want to downsize, and he bought this huge mansion now, which I'm pretty sure is bigger than his old house, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So. That's why I'm confused. So.
Yeah, isn't that house like 10 minutes from you, Dom? It's like
I'm
right
still
up
looking.
It's like right up the road from you.
Listen, I've gone by Denny Hamlin's house, and like you need to have a full tank to get around that house.
Huge.
Oh my gosh.
Kyle Busch's house is up for sale too.
That's true.
We should buy it together as a group.
Let's do it with our amazingly massive paychecks.
And then immediately regret the decision.
I have $3.
Now what?
Yeah, we'll move on from that. But no, good news there. But yeah, is it time to award? Is it time to? It's time to award.
Time to award. Put that on a T-shirt, please, with our logo.
It's time to award.
Throw that down the quote book. Oh, we're doing me first.
Am I talking to me?
Yeah.
Am I talking to me?
My thought process is we go category by category. So Ben, I'm going to use your PowerPoint here, just kind of as like the basis, and then we'll show your answers in there as well. So
Ben Branscombe Industries do not stand for everyone else's answers. They only stand for Ben Branscombe answers. Thank you and have a good night.
We love that. Thank you.
Name's on it. I had to say something.
I appreciate that. Yeah, but Ben made a lovely PowerPoint. So we're going to use it tonight to go through this. So here we go. So our first category, and again, I want you all in the chat to give us your responses, and of course, we'll share them here too. But starting off, we have quote or call of the year. What was our favorite race call? What was our favorite quote from a driver, broadcaster, whatever it was of 2023? And again, this could be from Cup, and I'm sure we'll mainly focus on Cup, but this could also be from any series. So I like to word that.
I appreciate that, James. It means a lot. Hold on. Here's my Emmy. Thank you, James. I really appreciate it. It's an honor. It's truly an honor.
Let's go ahead and give James a participation award.
James, you get a participation
award.
That
was good.
That was so good. It was so good.
I didn't pay James to say that. I should preface.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Ouch. That's amazing. All right. Well, I have a whole list of quotes from the first half of the season that I thought were great that I sent to our group chat this morning, but I'll at least say two of mine right now. The Christopher Bell, "This is fun. We're having fun at the Clash." I mean, that's just a whole mood.
I quote that every day at work.
For real. Like, yeah. So like that's one of my favorites because it's so relatable. And then Denny Hamlin, of course, "I beat your favorite driver," all of them. Like that's just menacing and iconic. So I have to give it to the Toyota had good quotes this year. I will say the Toyota drivers did.
They really did.
So, Ben?
If you hit the next slide on the PowerPoint, it'll tell you. Yes. The ARCA guy picks an ARCA quote. I picked Greg Van Alst's Daytona post-race interview because he cut the promo of the century, in my opinion. In the notes and the slides, I put the exact quote that he said. Quote, "It's everything I've got. It's the only speedway car we got, and there's no way I wasn't going to bring it home without the steering wheel and the trophy. This is for all the short trackers out there that don't think you can do it. I worked my ass off to get here, and we did it." And he was screaming the entire time and about passed out saying it. So I thought that was quote of the year because he cut that promo so well. So
that was a great quote. That whole moment, I was like, this dude is like time of his life, best day of his life. Like,
and then it was
so
all
cool.
downhill from there.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Poor Greg.
Yeah.
Adam, what's your favorite quote of the year?
You already said my favorite quote.
Yeah.
It was Denny Hamlin. I beat your favorite driver, all of them.
All of them.
I think
Yeah.
at that moment when he said that, I think I texted the entire group chat and said, "I'm buying Denny Hamlin merch right now."
Yeah.
That solidified it right there. If he's gonna be the only driver that doesn't want to be vanilla and go out on a limb and say something ballsy like that, I want to own some type of merchandise of his.
Honestly.
Absolutely. I
It
gotta
sold
get
it.
Hamlin merch.
Sold it right there. Knocked it out of the park. Especially because I know who
Absolutely.
he was. Especially because I know who he was really talking about. It wasn't all the drivers. It was one specific one.
We love it.
Oh yeah.
Dom, are you on the same boat or something different?
So I did have that one. I'd have a backup as well. That I really think I picked this as my quote of the year because it transcended how this season ended in a lot of ways with a lot of different teams. From John Hunter Nemechek, "Why have enemies when you have teammates?" I think
That's
that is
so
quote of the
good.
year.
When did
Yeah.
he say that?
Road America.
Road America.
Dang, that held weight so well.
Yeah.
So that is my
Yeah.
quote of the year because, yeah, I mean, Martinsville on its own can tell you that that is the most true statement ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. That's some heavy
That's
stuff right
good.
there. Jeez.
Yeah. Some of y'all again.
All right, Dom's 1 for 1.
Yeah, that's a good one. I say that
Swinging
probably
hard, I
wins.
see.
We got more quotes. More
Got his buns too
quotes.
hot.
It's just so funny. I would say SRX, John. If John, you want to throw out an SRX quote that counts. Yeah, we see, yeah, cool quotes all around.
Schrader, I'm not running another race with him.
Oh, yeah, but this is good. Yeah.
If Ken Schrader's pissed at you, you've really done messed up.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
We love that. Cool. All right. We'll move on to the next one. I do see this one. Yeah, the award for correctly predicting the 2023 Coca-Cola 600 will be rained out.
Never again.
Oh,
Worst and proudest moment for me, for sure. For sure.
that was a cold rain too.
It was awful. It
Oh.
really sucked. So,
It was a remember when you said this kind of rain.
yeah. Yeah.
And then you came back for the Roval and it was picture perfect weather.
Oh, the Roval was beautiful. I was so happy.
I mean, Saturday wasn't, but it still worked out. Or the Roval, excuse me. I thought Mid-Ohio for some reason. My brain had a fart,
Mid-Ohio. Oh,
Oh, that
Yeah.
was wet.
that was, yeah.
but fine.
Ugh. Hey, I guess, Dom, your hair's giving Alan Bestwick vibes?
Is it? I mean,
Kind of.
maybe.
Kind of.
It's time for the NASCAR Nationwide Series on ESPN.
Oh my God. It's him.
Alan?
He's real.
All right. Next category, race of the year. What was our favorite race of the year? Could be any
A
series.
lot of choices here, which is
got
a
a hot
good
take.
problem to have.
NASCAR. Ooh, got a hot take.
I had a hot take for mine. You can again next slide on the PowerPoint.
Okay, I'm nervous.
I said it.
Oh.
I went street course. I think
Oh.
that
Interesting.
was race of the year for me personally, because it was the biggest risk and it pulled off and it worked. Like, I'm for
Okay.
it. And SVG schooled those kids, and I'm all for it, man. He did the funny, and it worked. So, my race of the year, hands down.
Dude,
that was
saying
also,
Truck
like-
Series finale.
Yeah.
No, Dewey.
Dewey,
We'll bully
yes.
you in the Discord after this. The other thing
Yes.
about this race is, and why it's race of the year for me, is because
we-
I had people that never watched the sport ask me, "They're running in Chicago?" And I was like, "Yeah." And like, on the streets, and I go, "Yeah." And like, I'm coaching people on who's in the field, what's going on. Like, that's why it's race. It had such a lasting impact. That's why it's race of the year for me.
Yeah. It's definitely, for me, it's definitely up there. I mean, because like you said, Ben, it got people that otherwise would not have paid attention to NASCAR to pay attention and ask questions and get interested. So it's definitely there for sure.
Mhm.
Adam, race of the year?
Well, let's go back to Memorial Day weekend. Why don't we?
It was a banger.
Such a good one.
Another really
Not
good one.
only was the 600 great, but also the Xfinity race as well. So the double the full 900 miles that day. Two great drivers wheeling their butts off. Yeah, and they're two great guys. They're two of my favorite drivers. So, like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. But I also have an honorable mention. We did not get the finish we deserved from this race, yet the build-up, the tension, the excitement leading up to the eventual red flag that ended the race was the July Atlanta race.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say that was my favorite of the year. I gave it a 99%, even though it didn't end the way it needed to. It was such a banger.
Yes.
99.
Yeah, I rated it
highest
high.
rated. That was your highest rated race, like, ever.
This shows that I don't watch ATYL weekly. I'm sorry. I'm
I think it was my highest rated race I think I've ever had on the show, and I gave a 98 to the 600 last year. So this year, the Atlanta race, even though it didn't finish, even though I feel like the end of the race was a little bit like not disappointing, but it was a little bit of a letdown in the sense, but just the action itself.
It left so much to be wanted and desired.
Yes.
Like it makes me excited for what we're going to get next year, and we're going to get it right away. We're going to get it in February. However, the conditions are going to be completely different for that track.
And then we'll get in the playoffs.
We'll get in the playoffs.
So we'll see. Dom, what you got?
So yeah, I have both Kansas races as honorable mentions for sure. I think both races at Kansas were incredible. I think the 600 was really good again this year, but my pick for race of the year is the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. Because much could have gone wrong in that race, but there were only 2 actual cautions, and they just raced so hard all the way through, but it was such a good race. And just having the playoff bubble looming large in the background, knowing what was on the line, and they raced so hard and so clean. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I think that was my favorite race of the year.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think overall this year, and I can say this looking at my data that I had for my race ratings and everything like that, but this year overall had more consistent positive ratings than last year did for me personally. I feel like it was consistently a stronger year in the Cup Series than last with the Gen 7 and its introduction. So overall, I thought this was a really solid year of racing.
No doubt. It was really good all year long. And it's it's a good problem to have to sit and think, what was the best race of the year? Because there were a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, like last year, I already knew, like halfway through the season, I'm like, Coke 600, hands down, best race last year, in my opinion. This year, I did have to think. I went through my Excel spreadsheet and I was like, oh, I don't even remember. They were all so good. So
that's a good problem. Really, really good.
It's a good problem.
Yeah.
Flash would have been better at Daytona.
All right, Tom. All right.
Old man yells at cloud.
For real.
The Busch Clash at Daytona. Did we say Busch? Did we mention Busch?
Just have to check the box for my agenda, my weekly agenda.
It's okay. Also, that shirt fire. That's so good. Adam fancy right now.
Hey, I dressed up for the award show.
We love it.
I wore my tribute outfit.
You didn't get to wear it last week when we did the show, so had to do it this week.
Yes.
All righty. Next up. Talladega was really good.
That was really catapulted Blaney. So
yeah. And that was such a good race in playoffs. And then Miami was also pretty good too.
Miami was much better than last year.
Yeah,
I slept through all of it. I won't lie about it.
Oh,
not because it was a boring race, because I had gotten no sleep the night before. So
valid. Okay, fair. You are forgiven.
I still regret it too.
For shame, Benjamin.
I know. I'm a disappointment. What else is new?
Dewey, I think fair point. Low-key, the Cup finale exceeded like every expectation I had for it, and a title contender not winning made it more intriguing, way more intriguing, and added a whole new variable to it. I would agree.
Dewey speaks truth only.
He only speaks facts.
I still haven't found the GIF. That's okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't found the GIF of Ryan Blaney flipping off Ross Chastain on Twitter yet, and I need to find it. So if you in internet land know where it's at, DM me. Please.
Send it to them.
Yeah, please.
Alrighty. Next up on the list, what we got? I think this is rivalry of the year is what we got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's next in the PowerPoint.
Now, I don't know if we all have the same answer, but I know Ben and I have the same answer going
we
into this.
do?
I'm pretty sure we do.
Oh shoot! Let it roll, girl.
So I don't know if we all agree with this, but it's Denny Hamlin versus like everybody
That's a good one.
versus the
guilty.
fans all season long.
I'm guilty. That's who I had.
That's what you had? Yeah.
That
I
was the
picked-
picture
I
I was
picked-
thinking too.
Like, to be specific, I picked Hamlin and Larson.
Yeah, that's good.
But like, this is really,
Hamlin
really
versus-
good. I would also say Ryan Blaney versus anyone in front of him.
Yeah, for real. Like, my God.
Blanket, air blocking. That was so good.
So
Larson versus the sand barriers.
I have
I'm
an
right there,
honorable
yeah.
mention as well. 2311 versus their pit crews.
Oh,
It got
that's
better.
a good one.
It
It
got
got
better.
better.
versus itself.
It's the Spider-Man points meme for RCR where they're just like, it's
Yeah,
you.
but
It's
like,
you.
That's so true.
yeah, I would
John-
say like RCR Martinsville rivalry, just everyone an enemy to themselves.
But like,
John Hunter Nemechek and his teammates.
hey, dude.
Oh, that's
Like,
a good one.
I think
The
the
friend of
reason
my
why
friend is my enemy.
However,
the reason
my
I
enemy
picked
is now my friend.
the reason I picked those Hamlin versus the fans is just it's such a good rivalry because he doesn't care.
Right.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
I beat your driver. Every one of them like talks crap on the podcast about it. Like
Right.
it's good, man. It's good, and I want to get it in a bowl with a spoon and eat it up more and more like ice cream, man. It's so good. So
Yes.
No, it was entertaining to watch his
Everything was
interaction with the fans and just his like not caring this year.
it's
So,
good.
James has a good one. RCR versus the PR department.
Andy Petrie
Kills.
versus Sheldon Creed.
Oh my God. Hey, he
That'll be
apologized.
good.
That's good. He apologized.
He did. He ate his crow politely.
John said Chastain versus Larson. That's he was Chastain was part of like 3 or 4 wrecks that ended up getting Larson DNF'd at the beginning of the season, whether Chastain was a direct cause or just part of it.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, hi Matt. Good to see you.
Hi, Matt.
Chastain versus moving objects.
Chastain versus watermelons.
Yeah. We had the exact same thought.
And Chastain
God
versus
dang
Blaney versus anybody that races him in Gregson Chicago 6.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
God.
major.
That got personal after the second hit.
You stabbed him and then you twisted the knife a little. That's what you did.
Yeah. No, there was some good, like, I think creative rivalries today. Oh my God, Alex.
Go off, King. Go off. Dude, there are
Wow.
so many things that
We
If
could
you
go
think-
into this.
Oh, I
if
love
you think
you,
the Cup
Alex.
series
Oh my God.
and the Xfinity series and the Truck series were rough, just you wait till you watch an ARCA race live on Fox Sports, man. Some
It's
of
rough.
the stuff that happened is insane.
It's rough. I will get into this again. And respectfully, I will get into this again later, soon, very soon, because we also go into right now. What? Hold on. Seamless transition. Sorry. Okay. Disappointment of the year.
I have a list.
Oh
I-
God.
Go off,
we
King,
can
go
start with my
off.
spleen if we really want to be honest.
I mean, that's just
Twitter.
Gave up.
Dumb.
Shall
You
I-
had your
I mean,
list.
So I've got 4 things. The first one's Denny
Oh.
Hamlin.
The
Yeah.
old man screaming at the clouds has returned.
Hate it.
Yeah, first one's Denny Hamlin. Just if you're going to talk, walk the walk.
Yeah.
You keep saying it's your year, but he didn't even make it to the championship 4.
I want him to just
so
be no
kinda-
apologies at Martinsville, but
I've
he's
kind of
always
just learned.
so
I've
bad.
kind of learned the same lesson with him as with Allgaier. It's just they're destined to not win the title.
No.
So that's where I stand with him. I think this was a down year for Trackhouse. I put them as
Yeah.
a mention for disappointment of the year because they had so much momentum last year. But you get the same amount of wins. One of them was a non-points racer. That doesn't look good for Suarez.
Right.
No.
I give them credit though for getting their payback at Phoenix and finishing the job from last year. So that's a really good way to start 24. And then Stewart Haas Racing.
God, yeah.
um,
Speaking of,
I would put them in Legacy Motor Club as my biggest disappointments.
oh yeah,
Oh,
legacy,
ouch.
especially.
While
Sure.
Stewart Haas Racing had the expectation of trying to still be a top tier team and just not being good, and then Legacy Motor Club was just an embarrassment,
Yeah,
an absolute
It's bad.
embarrassment.
It's very bad.
And I was thinking too, like I really don't want to harp too much on SHR because it really has just been Kevin Harvick at that team. The
right.
only time they've only once gotten all 4 cars in victory lane in the same year, and that was 2018. Once.
With that stacked
They did
lineup.
a 4-car program.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really can't hark on them too much. I just think compared to last year and how good they were running, I think this was a really, really bad year for Legacy.
And I would agree in the comments too. I'm talking about like Hendrick Motorsports. We have some Bowman comments. We have some Chase Elliott comments. Besides Fox, respectfully, my biggest disappointment of the year would have to be Chase Elliott. I mean, obviously the injury that can't be helped. It's a freak accident. But then knowing you have the injury, you go and you intentionally wreck Denny, get yourself suspended. And it's just like and then after that, they just couldn't recover. Didn't recover this season. I mean, half of Hendrick Motorsports, because of the injuries and things like that, just wasn't great. And then you expect them to win the title with how strong William Byron was this year. And then at Martinsville, did bad, had probably the worst of the championship 4 cars at Phoenix. And then Larson just wasn't able to get it done at Phoenix again. Just it felt like a really weird year for Hendrick. And I feel like for me, that was disappointing, especially knowing the momentum they had going into this season with how good Bowman was running. This could have been a career best for him. So that for me.
It is crazy to think how superb half that building can be and how awful
Right.
the other half can be.
It's wild.
Yep.
It's wild.
Mm.
Adam, what you got?
So, alluding to what I was talking about earlier in the show, my biggest disappointment this year, it was Colleague Racing. I feel like they fell flat on their faces in Xfinity. Like they became irrelevant with trophy hunting again, which they pride themselves in going after trophies, yet we couldn't even get anything done. One bright moment was the Roval, obviously, in Cup, but everything else
was great.
Was terrible. Everything else was terrible this year. And I guess maybe that's why Justin Haley decided to jump ship after this season. Either the performance or who his new teammate possibly could be for 2024 moving forward. So they really disappointed me. Legacy MC, obviously, they struggled. It killed me seeing Jimmy Johnson just.
Yeah.
God, I
hang it up, old man.
He's like bad luck at this point.
Yeah, it's almost as if Jimmy's presence has made this team just fall off the face of the earth. It was bad. So I'm hoping for better things next year with Toyota coming on board for them, and hopefully with Colleague, maybe they can revitalize their Xfinity program and it'll carry over to Sundays with their Cup program.
Agree. Ben,
roll the slide.
We got it rolling.
My biggest one was Colleague, but I didn't realize we were going to start listing off all of ours. So I have my list in front of me, if that is okay.
Oh, go for it.
First off, so I had several crossed out. First off is JTD Doherty's paint schemes.
Yes.
I'm so sick and tired of that hood being blue. Paint it a different color, for God's sake. Like, God help me. Like, you have some banger schemes that you ruined by the hood. Also, I know Rob. Rob, first off, I love you. I would do anything for you. I know you love the Coca-Cola car that Ricky ran. Black text on a red background looks like ass, and I'm going to say it. And I'll put that dollar in that jar. Next up on the list, Sammy Smith's year. I was really disappointed with Sammy Smith's year in the Xfinity Series overall.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to do more besides just win one race and basically be irrelevant for the rest of it. Next up, Legacy Motor Club. We've talked about it. We really harped on it. Lord have mercy, those boys over there. They started to find speed at the end of the year, but like they couldn't find their belt with both their hands for a long part of it. I'm going to be honest. Colleague, the biggest one I took away after narrowing it down was Colleague Racing. Just you had a team that was so hyped up, and then they just have fallen flat on their faces in some ways now. And then lastly is the entire Truck Series season.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with it, man. Like
Same.
it just wasn't
It
great.
was bad.
So,
Yeah.
And the cherry on top was Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix was just, it made sense. It was awful, but it made sense.
James, I want to direct my attention to your comment about Legacy. I don't know if I had high expectations, but they won a race at least the year before.
Yeah, with
Like, I
Eric
had
Jones, and he was dominant.
Yeah, they were great the year before. Like, I don't know, high is not the right word, but like, or expectations. I had some expectations for him. You get Noah Gregson, who's a hot prospect too, and a car that clearly was winning or at least running top 15 a year ago, and then they just pooped the bed. So
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. When we say like expectations, we're not talking, they're going to win every race. We're talking like
reasonable,
being relevant, like top 20s, not running outside the top 20, running in the back with whoever's in the back in the random 51 and 15 cars. It's like, this isn't normal.
Yeah, just a disappointing. Like, I had hoped that they would at least win one more race this year, and they didn't.
Didn't come close.
Yeah, didn't come close. Also, Dewey has a good one with Tyler Ankrum in
I was gonna say
16 truck. That's a good one. Not for Tyler Ankrum, obviously, but
there's a lot of good disappointment. I mean, I had to say there's a lot of good disappointments in here, but like there's a lot of good mentions of things that were disappointing this season. Ankrum, KBM, honestly, kind of as a whole, disappointing. I mean, they were coming into a year where they changed manufacturers, kind of had to change their lineup. So it was expected that it could be a rough season in that regard. Austin Dillon was another one that I saw a few times in the comments. It was a bad year for him.
10 DNFs.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Brutal.
Haley Deegan gets a shot in top equipment and is irrelevant the entire year. That was something I was hoping wouldn't be the case, but was very quickly.
The entire
RCR.
I don't know if I agree with that, Noah.
No, Kyle Busch was rock solid. Austin Hill was really good.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that one.
We have more
exploded
with
at the
Kyle
end
Busch.
in Xfinity.
16 Fs. I mean, kinda, but like first year with that team, he did the exact same thing basically Tyler Reddick did the year before. Like,
right.
I get it, but I'm also like, yeah.
I mean, he combined his win totals from the past 2 years at JGR in one season with RCR. So I gotta remember that.
I think this is a big one too. This could be biggest disappointment. Rivalry of the year, NASCAR versus weather as well.
Yeah, honestly.
Everybody's favorite rivalry.
We got the disappointment with the Michigan race in August. It looked like it was going to be Truex's for a bit, and then Buescher just came to life. Speaking of Truex, his playoff run, major disappointment.
Yeah. You're telling me, kids.
Yeah. The Mr. Truex fan in the
I was ready for it. I was so ready for it. I was like, this is our year, and he's going to retire on stage. No, nothing.
It just didn't happen.
Fell dead.
Yeah, race control being a disappointment. Gregson.
I agree with that, honestly. I agree with that. Which is why he's not going to be in that ride next year.
Right.
I feel like you copy paste that comment each year.
Yeah, honestly. Every year.
Change it with Denny Hamlin.
It hurts. It hurts. I'm not gonna lie, that really hurts.
It does. I love Justin Allgaier. I think Adam and we share the same favorite drivers, quite honestly.
We do. We really do.
So disappointing.
We're brother and sister in soul, I think.
I think we are as well. Yeah. So we're destined to be disappointed forever, I think, with everything.
His life.
Championship though, so we can be happy about that. So yeah, cool. North Wilkesboro being a disappointment. I don't know about that.
We'll get into this because I have some of that later down the line. So
perfect. We will definitely. Oh yeah, Hickory versus Tires. That's good. Another good rivalry. We will move on though to the next category here. I believe.
Can I go first on this?
Yes, this is best paint scheme of the season.
Best paint scheme, and I want to go first because I have 4 technically. I know you said 3, but I have an honorable mention. and it's not NASCAR related. So these are my
bangers.
top three.
Ooh.
In no
Yes.
particular order, but really number one is that
Tony.
Reese's scheme from Justin Allgaier.
It's so good.
Perfection. I'll buy the shirt, the hat, the die cast, the socks. I'll buy it all if they ever make it. Second place for me goes to Tony Breidinger in that Canes car.
That's one of my
very
favorites.
Like flames on a race car always look good, but that red base really helped make it pop. I won't lie about it.
I'm so glad I got to see that car in person.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm
God, it
so
was so
jealous of
good.
you. I
That
might
car
get a
was-
custom of it because
That car was sweet, and she
If you
finished
get a
third in it.
custom,
Yeah, she got a
you
career best.
did. Yeah, if you get a custom, let me know where you got the custom from because I want
Will
it.
do. Sorry. Third place on my list goes to Christian Rose. So he's sponsored by West Virginia Tourism. I don't know what the deal is. I know he played baseball in West Virginia, but this car is the hottest thing I've ever seen. Like this purple and orange sunset. Like that's so good.
Huh.
Like, and so I didn't realize this. They did special themes throughout the year. I didn't put it in here, but when we did Mid Ohio, it was around July 4th. They did a firework car, which was super
That was
cool. It's super
them.
cute. Yeah, that was them. They were the
Okay.
firework car.
That was
And then
a
once
great
it turned
car.
fall, they turned the car in a red and yellow for like fall leaves changing.
Ooh.
So, but I think that purple and orange is perfection. And then next slide is my honorable mention.
All right.
So I threw this on here because a podcast that I love talked about it.
Ooh.
So this is, if I can get my computer to work as well. This is Brandon Jones Racing and Macaulay Jones in the Australia V8 Supercars. They did a collab with Teenage Mutant
That's
Ninja Turtles and
sweet.
Pizza Hut. And this is the sickest thing I think I've seen in my life. They did the photo shoot in a sewer, which I think is even better. Like
That's wild.
This is Paint Scheme of the Year that's not NASCAR related. So I had to throw that in there. So
That's sweet.
Cowabunga.
Dang, I have to agree. That's sweet. If it's not NASCAR related, I think that wins. That's sweet.
that's one of my favorites. So
I will say mine. I think I just picked one. I'm not going to go fully into which one's my absolute favorite because I have a whole video coming out in 2 parts the next 2 weeks. On my favorite paint scheme. 2 parts. So much content. But I will say the one that I was so excited about when it came out was the Justin Haley Mountain Dew paint scheme. I just thought that looked so
Yeah.
good. I think
that was like that just missed my cut.
oh, it was so good. I think Tyler Witt. I totally forget the designer's name, so I apologize. I put it in my video. I remembered it there. But he did such a good job designing that scheme. So that for me was one of my favorites.
It's fair.
Dom, Adam, what you got?
Go Dom. Go Dom.
Want me to go? Okay, so I'll pull up a picture of it. I just saved it just so we have clarity. I loved seeing this car in person. This was Ross Chastain's car for the Pink Out race.
Ooh,
That was
That
one of my
also
favorites
just
this
missed-
year.
that
Like,
just missed my
that
cut
is
too.
so cool. That
It
is
looks
such a
good.
great looking car.
It shows
Um,
like if they had just enough little accents on that base scheme, it would be incredible.
I love that one. I think as an honorable mention, Harvick's Budweiser car. I mean, the fact
Ooh.
that they even allowed that to happen is just amazing.
So good.
I think Chase Elliott's Memorial Day car was incredible.
It did look pretty good.
I mean,
It
he
was
junked
fun.
it, but
Right?
it was
Sure
such a
did.
cool car. And then I will finish it by saying pretty much every Chris Buescher car this year
Thank
was
you.
incredible.
Thank you.
I'd have to go back and
RFK
look at
home
My
runs.
favorite would be the Travel Centers car.
Yes.
But I mean, the Fastenal car was sweet. The Castrol Edge car looked good. Trying to think. Oh, the Paula Castino one with the pink chrome numbers. Like,
So
yeah,
good.
they
Yeah.
knocked them out of the park this year.
I want to add to this. Brad Keselowski's Coke 600 scheme was so good.
I did not have that one on my list.
No.
I didn't like that one.
Dang, that was one of
Yeah.
my favorites. But no,
I
RFK
did
as a
think
whole.
Buescher's was
knocked out
good
the
though.
park.
The green Fastenal one, the military green Fastenal, that was
Ooh, that
good.
was great.
I'll also
was great.
say, it brought back good memories seeing a lime green Interstate Batteries car with red numerals. I was
Yeah.
happy to see that again. And seeing the Christopher Bell one, the 20 car, made me think of when Denny ran the 20 car nationwide and it was Interstate Batteries. It was one of those like right car, wrong number
Yeah.
situations. It was just
Yeah.
so cool. So, yeah, I like that one too. And also, Bubba Wallace's All-Star car, if you remember it, the Columbia All-Star
Yes.
car.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
With the
Right.
All
That
the
one was
Columbia
sweet.
schemes were good this
So,
year.
That's it.
Columbia brought some good ones.
I'll see if I can pull up that all-star car.
Trying to get the picture.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Give me a second.
All right, hold on.
All right,
No.
I have. Dom, you go ahead and finish yours.
Okay, here we go. I'll be quick. Yes, got it. Already got it. We're good.
There it is.
Oh yeah, the pink. Oh yeah, that
Love
pops in my
that.
opinion.
Yeah, that car looked amazing. So that is all. And then, of course, the Reese's car
Of course.
for obvious reasons.
Makes me feel squiggly inside.
A Reese's car in the Busch series. Who would have thought?
So my favorite schemes, they definitely are Homer picks because these are my favorite drivers, and obviously, I just I gravitate towards whatever my guys like. I like. So here's my first one. It is. See if we can get pulled up. Ready?
We got you.
There's Blaney. Yep.
Yeah. I
Oh,
thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh dear. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Second up, this one brought back a lot of warm and fuzzies, brought a tear to my eye, I'm not gonna lie. Right scheme, weird sponsor on it. However, I like that they threw back as well. Harvick's Northwest Pro car.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
And my third and personal favorite, because I actually took this photo at Martinsville. Wow, it looks terrible with this lighting. Let me see if I can turn down the.
Is it the Hellman 7?
Is it the Hellman 7?
Oh yeah,
it.
the Hellman 7
God.
always looks good.
That always looks so good.
I also
have the raced version photos too. They're beat the hell basically of that one. But yeah, that was a what? There it is.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
so good. Dang.
She's all chewed up. There's another good one. Here, he's out of the car.
Dang.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Great win for all guys.
So those are my it got him to the show, but obviously we just can't finish it.
I also agree with Dewey in that Dale Jr.'s Bass Pro car for Homestead was really, really cool.
It was awesome.
That was a really cool Bass Pro car. And I also think Truex's Bass Pro car was sweet this year.
It was.
That True Timber camo. That car looked good this year.
With the black numbers or with the orange numbers on top?
Orange. I didn't like the black ones. I think it just looked weird. I don't know.
It did look strange.
I want to note James's comment about not a whole scheme, but his favorite edition was the Butcher's car with the eyebrows. And I had to look it up, and I see that they've done it with every car. Like the Build Submarines car has it, the Fastenal car has
How
it.
did I not realize this? What?
I didn't realize that till now.
I want to talk about selling every piece of the car you can.
Literally.
Yes.
Insane.
I didn't notice that. That's the best thing ever.
My God. Now I need to look this up. That's insane.
I noticed that after Richmond, after he won Richmond, that they were putting that over. I was a little busy
when Richmond was happening.
Yeah.
But I just caught. That's awesome. Like that's so funny to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think ARCA would do that first.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're putting sponsors on the rookie stripes.
The bounty rookie spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah, RFK Trackhouse in 2311 knocked it out of the park with their schemes this year.
Suarez's car for the Roval was really cool too.
Ooh, it looked great.
Rapido AF. That was really cool.
I do want to say Suarez's his Martinsville scheme. I'm not a big camo scheme guy, but that one really worked. I think
it was good.
So, but that's just me, in my personal opinion on that one. I know, like, I'm not the biggest camo guy, so I say.
I'll give one. Can I give one shout out?
Yeah.
Chrome numbers. Big fan of them.
Yes.
Wins every time in my book.
It's not always a win. I don't think it worked on the DeWalt car.
Okay, no, the DeWalt car it didn't work on.
But
also they did some weird stuff. So like I was doing this is how I spend my days at work now as I go back when I was looking for paid schemes on JSKI for this research. I didn't realize this, but they did like a theme thing for each car for DeWalt. So like one weekend's plumbing based, one weekend was woodworking based. And I finally caught on to that when like 1 week's electrical. And so that's cute. And I think that's really cool. But like some of the stuff they did, I was like, this is
Yeah.
a swing and a miss.
I do think his Bristol dirt car was really
Yes.
cool.
It
with
was
that
really
blue.
good.
Yeah.
I was
That
about
one
to
looked
mention
good.
that
They did
one.
good with that one. I agree with that.
Hey,
I agree with
got
have
got
here
me my
the
first win in the picks.
it did.
Then it was downhill after that again.
The Star Wars schemes were really good. I see you guys have that as like a favorite in here. The Rocket League car was also one of my favorites. And then the
Grimace!
Cheddars. The Grimace, yeah, Grimace was
Oh.
so good. All
The
that.
Hamburglar,
So
which looked like an acid trip of a car.
I
It
will
was
also say,
creepy.
going back to honestly just RFK in general, I love how they've gone with the idea of, yeah, we had to move the numbers forward. We're just going to make them massive.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
love,
love
it.
it.
It's like,
Yep.
because I was just looking at Busher's victory lane pictures from Richmond, and the 17 is humongous on the
It
side
is.
of his car.
Oh, dude, yeah, the 6 like early in the season, huge.
Yeah.
One other honorable mention: it never made track, but the Brad Keselowski 6 Ken Block car that they did for a test at Auto Club, or I think wherever it was. Like that was a banger.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That was touching.
So, sorry, I could talk about paint schemes all day. You need to move on, or I'm going to keep going.
It's all good. No, these are all
Just
really
for
good
reference.
schemes.
Just for reference, how big the 17 is.
Huge. I love it.
That's ridiculous,
That's so
but
great.
it works.
Big. Hey, the bigger the better, I think, with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what helps too is, I mean, with the Fastenal logo just being the word Fastenal, like it gives you that luxury
Yeah.
to work with that
Mhm.
extra space, because then Fastenal doesn't look awkward on the side of the car.
Right.
Yeah.
They
So
did good.
all good. I guess, in my opinion, maybe Chris Buescher wins for best schemes of the year, driver wise, altogether, perhaps. At least consistently good paint schemes. Like his were great. But we will
Not
move
Brandon
on.
Jones.
Ha!
Well, you can never read it because it was always junked.
Yeah. Not even that. Like they have like 80 sponsors, and they're all like small font. So
They're all crumbled.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we'll power through these moments of the year. Talking about maybe a win, maybe a confrontation, a last lap pass, whatever it is, moment of the year for 2023. I'll start off by saying there are two for me. One is Josh Williams parking his car, start finish line at Atlanta. I mean, iconic. He
glad I
made a
was
name
there.
for himself. It was an incredible moment.
That was a
That
wild
one.
day.
And then I will say AJ Allmendinger winning at the Roval was another great moment. Just when everything was against AJ and that whole team this entire season. Colleague was not great. But that race and seeing his emotion was awesome. I also have to give a shout out to Blaney winning the championship and the 600. The 600, what a moment for me, at least. But like that was awesome. But yeah, two main ones though, AJ Allmendinger and Josh Williams. Their moments this year were awesome. So that is mine. Who wants to go next? Oh, we got so many comments. Dom, it's your turn.
Spin the wheel, Taylor. Spin the wheel.
Oh, is it me?
I'll have Dom. I'll have you go next.
So I would say, in terms of just like the actual season itself, I think moment of the year should be when Blaney won Talladega, because that was officially like that.
He has arrived.
That started it, and then he turned into a playoff monster.
Yes.
So, like I've said before, I think we saw the arrival of playoff Blaney, because he became scary, in like a good way during that final playoff run. But I do think Josh Williams just throwing the finger to NASCAR and parking his car on the start finish line.
Crazy.
That was pretty
The
extraordinary.
quote of the year also. What are they gonna do? Find me? I can't even pay it.
Yeah,
right.
Great quote.
And just that whole experience of just sitting outside of the hauler waiting for him to come out, it was freezing. That was a good time.
Awesome.
And then I think I would also honestly argue Blaney's Martinsville race was kind of, man, like he is so much better than these guys right now. And you kind of just, I mean, now hindsight's 2020, but you left Martinsville like, okay, they officially all got to go through the 12 car.
Yeah. I mean, Talladega is when Blaney arrived and you're like, okay, he could win this championship. And then Martinsville he is the favorite going into Phoenix, which is one of his best tracks. I mean, it all lined up perfectly for that 12 team.
Yeah. I also think this is going to hurt a lot of people, but it's also like, really big for the sport. I think Chase running out of gas at Watkins Glen was the moment where he's not going to make the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That was a
that's
big
where
moment.
it hit. It was like, it's actually going to happen. He's actually going to miss it. So
Yeah.
I would put that one up there too.
It's that scene from Speed Racer where Sprato's like, he's going to do it, but not.
Yes.
Good
He's
reference.
not
Love that
going to
movie.
do it.
Let's see. Ben, do you want to share yours?
Yeah, roll the slide.
We got it.
All that beautiful bean footage.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to make a reference. I said Wilkesboro. I think I'm going to take away, like, I'm going to include the race in this, but I'm saying that whole weekend. I think that was the moment of the year for the industry. We went back to the track we never thought we were going to go back to. It was done. It was cooked. And just to see the history and the excitement and the weekend overall to go without a hitch. Like, I've talked to Toby about it. There weren't really any problems there at all. I think that's the moment. Like, when we look back in, I don't know if I'll be alive in 75 years to look back on the next 75th anniversary or 150th or whatever it is. Like, anniversary of NASCAR, we'll be like, remember when we did this 75 years ago? We went back to Martinsville. Like, that's crazy. So I think that for me is like the moment of the year.
And what I agree with that, because what I love too, when they asked him, like, how was the racing out there? He's like, yeah, track was rough, but we expected that. It was still a great show. And it's
Exactly.
So it's like, you could easily be like, oh, the track was awful. You really couldn't even race on it. And Larson led every single lap. It was a boring event. But they were just like, I mean, the fact that we're here is incredible.
Yeah.
And now I can say, man, I grew up watching Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt battling on this track, and here I am. They literally just cleared all the weeds out of this place, and I get to race on it. This is a dream come true. And I also think, too, in this picture, what's really cool is, I mean, they could have just put the brand, like the current logo for NASCAR Cup Series on that press box, but they stuck with the Winston Cup font. And
I love it.
That little details like that is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just magical. Definitely magical. It almost felt like a fever dream too. Like, is this really happening? Are we really going back to a place that was shuttered when I was 3-4 years old, never to return? Then it was revitalized in the late 2000s, and it was closed again, sat vacant for another 10 years, and now we had a cup event. We had a full weekend with trucks. It was awesome. There's no other words to put it. You literally take a piece of history that was it was part of NASCAR from the beginning. Then we said, okay, we don't want it anymore. Now we're back to it. It's funny how old things come around again, and I loved it.
Best part is it was good enough to earn another date.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is huge.
That's awesome.
So, Dom and Adam, would you say, like, was this your moment of the year, or did you guys have something different?
You already asked Dom's.
Oh, I did. That's right. Sorry.
But I would just say, it is cool though that they resurrected North Wilkesboro.
No, this was not my moment of the year, Taylor.
Okay.
No,
what's
mine
having that taste?
Pulling onto the track.
Yeah, I was like,
God.
No, mine would be literally Ben spoke on it about the Chicago street race.
Yeah.
How he was getting like calls from people that had no idea about racing. I got calls from family members that have absolutely no interest in racing saying, hey, is there a NASCAR race in downtown Chicago? Yeah, kind of a big deal. Like, yeah, we can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So like that, just like knowing that there were people that have no idea or no clue or even care about our sport, hearing about the sport and either getting stuck in traffic by it or just passing by it on TV or something. I mean, like it was incredible just to hear the outpouring and the international fare that it was. And then for some guy from down under that half everybody in NASCAR can't even pronounce his name, goes out and he puts on one of the greatest moves in a cup car on a road course I've seen in years, and ends up winning the whole thing. It was very, very, very cool.
I think what was so good about that move for the win was one of those very rare moments where you see a guy see the leader and go, I've got you exactly where I want you,
Mhm.
and expose them. Yeah.
Schooled him.
Yeah.
Like,
I turned to Karina and I said, he's about to pass him. He knows exactly what he's doing going into that corner. Sure enough, smokes the brakes, sneaks right on by, wins the race.
never.
Yeah. That was a good moment. We got Alex saying another good moment this year was Dennis versus Larson at Kansas, the first race this year.
Oh,
Love
Dennis.
it. Hab saying favorite moment of the year 2023 Kyle Busch, all 3 wins of 2023, passing Corey Heim at Pocono and Truck. Again, bringing this back up for like every category, and like it fits with
was a
almost
good
every
moment.
category. It's so good.
Paint scheme of the year. I'd be your favorite driver.
It's good.
Put it on a hood.
Chastain's haymaker and McDowell's 360 in a dirt race. No, that save was insane. That for McDowell at Bristol Dirt, like that was wild.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
To add to Ben's point about saying, remember when we did this? Yeah. 25 years from now, NASCAR 100. Remember when we threw dirt on Bristol?
Yeah,
Dude,
just like
fever dream.
Oh,
this one's moment of the year. Andy Petrie confronting Creed on pit road. Moment because of how awkward it was. Dewey, I agree with you. Blaney's took out all his past bad luck on the playoffs this year and just kind of took the championship. So that's good. And then
all of his chips to the middle.
he really did. So, and then going on with moment of the year, personal moment of the year for us. We all had some travels, adventures at the racetrack and everything like that. Oh, sorry. Okay, well,
It's okay. I didn't make any thumbnails after. I got lazy, so I won't lie about it.
You're good. So, I mean, yeah. So, moment of the year, Ben. I see familiar faces on this slide.
Yeah. So there were 2 moments. The first one that happened is the one on the right, which was just sitting on the concrete wall at Nashville Fairgrounds, talking to Brayton Laster and Gavin Newton after the Arc East race, and just it was one of those moments of like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm sitting on this wall, like after a race, and just shooting the breeze with 2 guys that I had kind of barely known at the time, and that was just one of those surreal moments. And then Mid Ohio will hold a special place in my heart, no matter what. I always get a little teary-eyed when I go back and look at the photos with you all, because it was just so special. And I took a photo and I didn't tell you all. There's a photo of you 2, and by you 2 I mean Taylor and Rob, are sitting there and we're watching the Xfinity race that night, and we sat there and we talked about the 07 season while we ate pizza. That's probably one of my like lifetime moments. I'm not gonna lie about it. Not only just this year, but in my life of, these are my friends. Like, this is where I was meant to be on this date, and everything's going to be okay. Like, that was that moment. I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about it. Jeez. So yeah, those are my moments of 2023 personally.
And here's the thing too, like in that photo on the left that I'm in, I was actually car sick. Like, I felt so sick. And because when I got out of the car, you guys are like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "I don't feel good, you guys." But like, I was having the time of my life. Like, that was such a fun weekend. No, that was awesome. Yeah, and then watching the Xfinity race afterwards, like that was such a ball. It was so cool. I'll follow that up. I mean, that whole weekend, getting to see you like again in person, and then getting to meet Rob finally in person was awesome. And then, of course, the 600 weekend, getting to see Dom, Adam, and then our adventures at the race shops at Penske Trackhouse. Like, that was, this year as a whole has been like a freaking dream, like unreal. So it's just crazy.
I have a video of our merch tents. This was after our first assault back at the camper.
Oh no!
It has no audio. It doesn't need audio.
I could see Adam smiling. I know exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, I know exactly what he's gonna do.
Oh no!
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was such a fun, like every time I was at the track with y'all, it was so much fun. Literally, again, like I said, like this whole racing season was like best year of my life. Like getting to cover the races, getting able to see you all in person. Like, God, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Adam was looking for merch in the tents. Your personal moment of the year?
Oh no, personal moment. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. No, it's more of a funny moment of when you had to leave me and Dom because you just had to go pick up a helmet and try to catch the start of the ARCA race, leaving
Right.
me and Mr. Dom Joseph to our own demise.
Had to be only maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was
That's all
only
it
10
took.
minutes. 10 minutes. There was so much cash that flew. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah. I literally, at one point, I think I dragged one of you out of the tents. I don't know if it was Dom or whatever, but like, it was bad.
It got very ugly, and then us just singing tribute by Tenacious D, walking everywhere on the grounds of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Yes,
So good.
personal favorite moment.
God, that was fun. Dom?
Yeah, my
Gotta be
counselor
pretty gear.
advises me not to talk about tenting anymore. That was, yeah, no, that was so much fun. That whole 600 weekend was great. You know, I put down, you know, when I worked for the newspaper in Georgia, I got to go cover the Daytona 500 this year,
Mhm.
and like I went from going to the 500 once as a fan and thinking that was the coolest thing ever to going into the infield and I'm working the Daytona 500. That was a very surreal moment for me, very emotional moment for me, not gonna lie. I put that one up there, and then I think my personal favorite memory was getting the call that I got the job with NASCAR. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
yeah, I think I put that one up there. But no, I mean, just even working the Kansas races, Watkins Glen, Michigan race. So those are really, really cool experiences. But yeah, no, this was a pretty good year.
Yeah, when
But
you
I am
told me you
still
got the call.
I'm still in severe recovery from
Yeah.
going into the birch tents.
Yeah,
Never
and
gonna
then
financially recover
we
from
went.
this.
Did you buy something when we went to the Roval from the tents, or did you not,
No.
Dom? No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
You helped me buy things. The Jimmy Johnson diecast.
Yeah, I helped you get his rookie car and his Power of Pride car,
Yeah.
which could not believe the Power of
Couldn't
Pride
believe
car was
it.
there.
That
I've
car was-
seen the rookie car there plenty of times, but the Power of Pride car, yeah, that blew me away that car was there, and
Yeah.
at the price it was at.
Yeah, the price it was
normally
at.
goes for a lot. So,
Yeah.
That
good
car
for
should have
you.
been mine.
It should have been mine.
Rip.
It should have been mine.
Should have been mine.
Should have been mine. I did enough damage before I found that car, so that's kind of why I said, okay, maybe I need to back off a little bit.
I will say, I think my best purchase this year was this bumper. That was a time to get that. So,
That was a fun walk.
oh God, yeah, that whole walk in the rain, carrying that back to the RV. God.
Oh,
Alex said personal favorite moment of the year was Joseph winning the 500, being there with super. Yeah, I was jealous of you, Alex. Not gonna lie.
That
We
race
talked
was
about this.
crazy.
Yeah,
That was a good race.
crazy
Alex, come to
race.
the Brickyard next year. We can be friends.
Oh my
That's all I'll
God.
say.
Honestly. Also, we're hoping we're gonna have Alex and Zach from the Gay Racing Podcast hopefully on the show in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. We're coming up with plans.
All
So stay
right.
tuned. I know this is news to like some of the ATYL crew, but yeah, we're working on it. So we're working on it. So Alex will be here soon. And then Matt said favorite moment of the year was going to Wilkesboro with Dom.
Yeah, that late model race was so cool, and Matt and I got to take pictures outside
Yeah,
the big wall that has the Winston Cup stuff still
Yeah,
on it.
you
So
took that one
I
to
told him,
Junior's
like,
late model.
it is only a matter of time before they paint over this, so we got to get a picture with it. So that was really cool. Yeah, I got to see
So
Dale
cool.
Jr. race the Sundrop car.
Jealous.
I still have that photo that you took of it saved on my phone because it's so cool.
Same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that photo, dude.
Yeah, that was such a good time. Can't wait for that diecast to come out. Speaking of which,
Same.
that'll be great to have since I got to see it in person. And just, yeah, I remember walking away from there like, man, this place really is frozen in time. And that is
Yeah.
so cool. And that was my first late model race. I had never been to a late model race before. So
They're fun.
that was so cool. And they're super fun.
Mhm.
They're very, very fun. And it was cool to cheer for Dale Jr. Get to do that again.
All right, we got 2 more awards left. We have Rising Star. So this is a driver that obviously kind of rose to the occasion this year that we were impressed with. Ben, do you want to go first?
Sure. I don't know if you have my PowerPoint still pulled
Oh,
up.
I
or
got
not,
you,
but no,
bud.
it's okay. All right. My rising
like
star
this.
was Luke Fenhouse. In 8 ARCA East starts, he had 2 wins technically.
Nuts.
This photo I took at Nashville Fairgrounds after he schooled William Swalich on a restart. And then he did the same thing again at Iowa. And I've talked to Luke personally. I've done several interviews with him. He's a guy that he's looking for funding right now for 2024, but I think if he gets the right ride and the right opportunity, he's going to be something. Like he has the talent and it's totally there. And I'm very high on Luke Fenhouse, so he's my rising star for this year.
I love it. Love it. I think I speak for the comments in here. My rising star. I speak for the trees. I speak for everything, everybody. I don't know. Do we all agree with Chris Buescher here?
Yeah,
rising
that was
star.
mine.
Yeah.
That was my pick.
I think you could argue a few drivers this year. I see in the comments we have a Ty Gibbs comment, which I think is valid in terms of his rookie season that he had. It's one of the best, I think, in recent NASCAR history from a rookie. But Chris Buescher, for me, I mean, this year with 3 wins, competitive, fell off in the playoffs, unfortunately, but he was title contending, and for an RFK car to be title contending was insane. So
He was carrying the Ford flag for half the season too.
yeah,
So,
He really was.
so love to see that. So that would be mine, rising star.
That's fair.
You go fair.
Yeah.
Dom, do you have a backup?
no,
Same.
my pick was
was yours?
Chris Buescher. No, I agree. I think this year was kind of just the proving that last year's positive uptick was not a fluke and that the team is getting better. So I think that was awesome to see him win the way he did at Richmond, where it really came down to him and Brad at Richmond.
Yeah.
So that was great for just the team. And then, man, Michigan, he just muscled
God,
his way to the
it was
win
awesome.
over Truex.
Mhm.
And then Daytona, just put yourself in position to win.
Mhm.
And what better way to enter the postseason than with a win at Daytona? So it doesn't matter how you get it. A win at Daytona is important. That's coming from me.
Love it.
But yeah, no, I think by far, I think Chris Buescher for sure is already a star in the sport. A 2015 Xfinity Series champion.
Yeah.
He's been in Cup since 2016. So, I think he is already a star, but this year was kind of just like, yeah, I am really good at this. I can win in RFK equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, what are you thinking rising star this year?
Man, I could go the easy route and agree with you with Chris Buescher, but honestly, I think we have a problem. I think
Problems, Wendy?
we do have problems. It's almost as if we have a great divide in our sport, and I feel like there's a lot of drivers that they showed these moments of, oh, they're up and rising, and then they fizzle out. I don't want that to happen to Chris Buescher. I'd love for him to continue this upward trajectory with RFK. But I don't know. I'm just getting a weird vibe that they're gonna go into 2024 and they're gonna fall flat. I want to say Christopher Bell, but he's been very hot and cold. Great with qualifying.
Yeah.
Sometimes can't get the results. Kind of reminds me of a young Ryan Newman. He's got the speed on Q day, but can't follow it up and ends up getting DNFs left and right.
It's a great comparison.
Yeah, that's great.
If anyone, I could see him being on my rising star list for 2024 and up, because obviously Truex doesn't have many more years, if another year left, and Denny, he's getting up there in age as well. So who's going to carry the banner for Gibbs besides Ty? It's going to have to be Bell, and if he doesn't step up to the occasion, then he's going to get left behind.
Fair. I think someone else we could add into this.
That's all I got.
I agree.
Did you answer the question?
We kind of did in a way.
Christopher Bell.
I feel like you answered the question with a question.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lost now.
I was like, I think we're going with Christopher Bell on that one, and I would agree. I think
Bell.
if we want to put in Rising Star with Most Improved, kind of putting those two together, I would say Bubba Wallace as well. I mean, he did so well this year. What an improvement. Best Cup Series year for him. I'm hoping he can carry that momentum forward. I really do. I mean, he finished top 10 in points, and that's huge. I would say he's getting better and better. I just want him to continue that, maintain or do better next season, but you never know. So, yeah, there's that. I will say there was other comments in here too, mentioning Jesse Love, and I like that. Definitely, I mean, killed it this year in ARCA. Made a name for himself for sure. Dominated. So just nervous for next year.
I considered him as the guy that covers ARCA for a part-time living. But like he's in top tier equipment and we knew he was going to be good. I was like, I kind of went for the guy that I feel like has a decent chance. Also, we have a super chat.
We do. Thanks, Matt. Oh, Alex Bowman. First off, thanks, Matt, for the super chat. Second, I want to see. I'm assuming this is this sarcasm, but if it's not sarcasm, then
just look at Dom's face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at Dom's face. Oh, Matt.
Matt's about to get decapitated.
We saw Blaney being a rising star. Sam Mayer in Xfinity. Mayer in Xfinity, I think, is a good example of a rising star, I would say. And then for trucks, now going to Cup next season, Hocevar, talent-wise, rising star, maturity TBD. Mood.
I almost feel like Hocevar might have the Ty Gibbs effect of being overly aggressive in the lower series, but will get humbled very, very quickly in Cup.
Yes, which I think is okay.
Hence why I was hesitant to just say he's my rising star.
That's fair.
I do like this. Riley Herbst finally getting that win in Xfinity at Vegas this year. He'd been knocking on the door.
Dom, are you okay, bud?
Wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least I would say finally got the win this season, right?
I wouldn't go that far with him.
He disagrees. All right, last award of the evening. We have reached near the end of the show. Final award is Driver of the Year. This could either be a driver that just outright dominated this year, a driver that went under the radar but was like super good. I mean, this could mean anything, but Driver of the Year, Ben, I will start with you because I highly agree with this and I love this.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
I said Grandin Finger is my Driver of the Year.
I love
Hands down. So this is statistically his best year in trucks since 2020. His average finish and start were below 10. They were both single digits. His average start was a 9.9. His average finish was a 9.0. If you base this on old school NASCAR points in the 36 race season, the champion of every series had a finish between 9 and 11. So he easily would have been a championship contender at that time. I want to also note this. So I had to double check the stat several times to make sure. He was the only driver in the championship 4 in the truck series not to have a DNF all season.
Yeah.
Every single driver in that championship 4 other than him had at least one DNF.
Which is insane.
3 wins on the year and a team that was going out of business. He's my Driver of the Year. My other runner-ups for this category were Chris Buescher, as we discussed just moments ago, and Jesse Love as well for this. So, but I had to go with Grandin Finger. I feel like he had statistically an incredible career.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Adam, who was your Driver of the Year?
My Driver of the Year goes to Cole Custer.
Hey, all right, fair.
The redemption tour of being demoted from the Cup Series back to Xfinity, going out and proving that, yes, you are relevant. Yes, you deserve a future shot back in the Cup Series. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to absolutely make a living hell for everyone else in the Xfinity Series. Oh, and I'm going to win the championship too.
Yeah.
And what I saw at Martinsville as well, I have great photos of it, of him crossing the finish line backwards on fire to make it to the championship 4. That right there, the determination, the championship drive, I feel like that really cemented his want to and will to just get the job done, get everybody to shut up essentially about, oh, you're not good enough. Yeah, you're good enough. Go ahead. Let's get a championship. Kick butt.
Yeah,
Stone cold, baby.
love it. Dom, what are your thoughts on driver of the year?
Well, first of all, if you can hear a little bell ringing in the background, that is little Miss 5 Pound Merida putting in a couple track laps right now in the living room.
Zoomies going down.
She's got the soft compound tires on, trying to shake the car down for the weekend.
She's got the boogity boogity boogities.
I just heard it ringing like crazy. I was like, oh, someone's running. I tried to get her to come in here a second ago to show off her as the rising star. But no, I mean, based on stats and all that kind of stuff, William Byron's my driver of the year. You know, say what you want. 6 wins, most that he's ever had in a single season, 15 top 5s, 21 top 10s, 4 pole positions. He led 1,016 laps, and then average start 10.9, average finish 11. So just a great year for that team. If we were in the standard point system, this probably would have been his championship. But you know, it is what it is. Just, it was a really good year for him, especially because we had spent the last couple of years saying, man, he starts the year great and then just tapers off, and kind of just, he was good all year. And everyone's going to have a couple weeks where just, you know, they're just out there to log laps and get the points. But he was great, and, you know, dominated Las Vegas, was the man to beat at the Roval. I know Atlanta was race shortened, and that's more of a super speedway kind of deal. Texas kind of came from behind in the end to win that one. I mean, and honestly, you could even look at Martinsville and just say, man, they were awful that day, but they did enough to make it. So, you know, just fight through it. And I mean, you could even hear they were telling him, so we know you've got nothing in that thing. Just give us everything you got. And he got him there. So William Byron's my driver of the year. Even though he doesn't have the cup in his trophy case, it was still a great year for him nonetheless, and proving that he really is a 5-star driver in this sport. Should have won the truck championship in 2016. Won the Xfinity title as a rookie in 2017, and immediately got the cup job. So yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, I don't mean to be basic, but I got to agree. I mean, the stats don't lie. William Byron had one heck of a career year. Only thing he didn't get this year was a championship. And that, to me, was very disappointing, just because he had it in him to finally put that 24 back in the championship fight.
Yeah, I'll also say, you know, I was debating too whether I wanted to give it to Larson, because I would say the main difference was, I think Larson was too much of win at all costs.
Yes.
And that he paid the price for that. But I would definitely say, on the most consistent basis, Larson was the fastest guy every week.
Yes. And when they maybe weren't good in practice or qualifying, somehow in the race, they'd find themselves in the top 5, the top 10 from the back.
500.
For example. And then also just the domination that they had at North Wilkesboro. I mean, that was insanity.
Yeah.
Absolute insanity. I mean, as much as I say that Hendrick Motorsports had a disappointing season in terms of Elliott and Bowman, and then, I don't think everything ended the way it needed to for
it was just a disappointing
Larson Byron, but it was just disappointment. So, I agree with Byron. I see some of y'all saying Blaney, driver of the year, in the chat, and I would say there's validity to that for sure. I mean, Ford is behind at the start of the season. Penske is kind of nowhere in sight. A little bit disappointing. And then when the playoffs hit, the 12 team did what they had to do. Obviously, Blaney getting that Coke 600 win is a big deal. Talladega and the Martinsville winning the championship. Didn't win that race, but got the championship nonetheless. I mean, I can see that being a valid argument as well. But I also think Grant and Finger, Ben, is a great choice. He was actually on my radar for driver of the year. If I wanted to do something for truck, I'd say for Xfinity, I'm hesitant on John Hunter Nemechek. He did so well this season, but it's again, like, wasn't able to get the end result.
Joke!
Teammates.
Yeah, teammates. And that's the thing. But I do think if I were to give a driver of the year to somebody in Xfinity, I think I would give it to him for
Creed.
sure. Sheldon Creed as well. God, Sheldon Creed. Hey, I'm excited for him next year to just like blow everyone out of the water. Like he deserves.
Wow,
he
where's he
deserves the
going?
best. Apparently, according to Austin Hill, it's Joe Gibbs.
Joe
So
Gibbs racing.
Had to get that
I would
in there.
love to if he just shows up to Daytona in his JGR stuff, and they're like, "So there was no announcement." It's like, you guys already knew.
yeah. I want that to happen so bad.
Surprise!
But yeah, so that is all we have for you this show. Thank you all for participating and sharing your comments and your thoughts. We always appreciate it. We will not be doing a show next week because obviously Thanksgiving. So it's
some
falling on
turkey.
Thursday. So eat some turkey, or if you're a vegetarian, eat something that resembles turkey. I don't even know, you guys. Thanksgiving is a lot of food, a lot of fun. So have a good week next
Turkey's
week.
the gateway meat.
What?
Turkey's the gateway meat for any vegetarian.
It
all
kind of
know
is, dude.
Honestly, though.
That and
But
bacon.
have a safe holiday. Remember, in the meantime, check out TobyChristie.com for all of your NASCAR news during the off season. We're still putting content out there. Also, above theyellowline.com, more about us, what we do, your merchandise for the holidays. Order to get your merchandise for Christmas, hats and stuff. Link in the description. And then of course, ATYL, we're not doing like race recap content right now, obviously, but we still have content coming out most every week. Usually Mondays or Tuesdays. I'll have videos coming up shortly there, but still giving you guys content in the off season as we are all missing racing a little bit more. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this live stream. Again, have a happy holidays. Next week, have some good time with your family, eat some good food. And thanks all for the support. Until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.